Salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the public forum, we do have some guests coming in for the solar farms and moors. I'd like to work you in. I spoke to them earlier between the budgets hearings. It takes 15 to 20 minutes. That'd be okay. So we'll do part of our agenda before the 7:15 first public hearing. That's okay. I would like approval of the October 10th board minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or concerns about the board minutes of October 10th? If not, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. We had a special meeting on October 23rd. I'd like to have those minutes approved.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of October 23rd.
Thank you, John.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Is there any questions on the minutes of October 23rd, special meeting? If not, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'd like to abstain, Larry, I didn't attend.
Okay, thank you. 4 yeses and 1 abstention. Do most of this. You have your town clerk's monthly report. Approval.
Make a motion to approve the town clerk's monthly report for October.
I'll second that.
Any questions on Julie Castine's monthly report? If not, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. Good, thank you. You have your zoning and planning board minutes, please do read them. Very interesting, things are going on. Julie, which board does not have an alternate right now? Do you know that? Zoning?
Planning board.
Planning board does not have an alternate. Okay, thank you. Just for information only, we are looking for an alternate on the planning board. If anybody's interested, shoot us a short note or come in and visit with us. We are looking for an alternate on that board. You have your EMS monthly report. Very interesting. Please read it over, strictly for information. You have your JCO community outreach monthly report. It's very interesting. Strictly for information. Please do read that over. They do help a lot of families. We got a letter from the Champlain Fire District, mostly pertaining to the ongoing water project. It's been brought to the attention of the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Champlain Fire District. There are many fire hydrants in the town limits that cannot be accessed for use due to the following. Hydrants turn the opposite way, some hydrants are low to the ground, firefighters have difficulty connecting to them, and some are installed in a depression so that only the nut can be seen. Okay, so these are issues that it's an ongoing thing with the water project. They will be addressed before the project is complete. Thank the fire department for that. Yes, Clark?
A question about this. I had a conversation with Mike Tatro,
Yes.
and apparently, if someone correct me if I'm wrong, but in his capacity as a code enforcement officer, he could go out and, I guess the expression is black bag those.
I believe some are.
So, okay, so if that happens, for a black bag, and there happens to be a fire near that, and because it's black bag, the fire department either can't or doesn't use it, does that put us in harm's way of lawsuit? We're acknowledging there's a problem there, but we didn't fix it because right now we can't forge it.
Well, the contractor will be responsible, and we're suing him now, so I guess we have to wait and see.
Well,
We're not responsible, the contractor. He's walked off the job, so the bonding company would be responsible at this point.
Well,
Who knows?
yeah,
Well, obviously, it's an issue that has to be taken care of
Right.
soon.
Do we know how many hydrants are in that kind of predicament that are not usable right now?
I would say there's 30.
You mean present hydrants not connected to this project?
Hydrants within the town limits that are not usable for fire safety purposes, I guess, regardless of why.
I know of none, personally, I don't know, I can't answer that question, I don't know the answer to that.
I know they had that company come in, they fixed 19 of them. They put the risers in them and they pointed them in the proper direction to things, but that's where they dropped the ball. That was
I think we should ask Eddie Adams to make it a priority to find out which hydrants are not usable at all and what it's gonna take to make them accessible and usable.
He's off the project right now. The last day was the day before.
Is there anybody up there that's on?
Well, I'm sure somebody can, yeah.
All right, so we'll talk to Courtney and Anthony tomorrow, we need to get that figured out. Maybe then we need to go to the fire department and say, if this hydrant's not usable, what's the next closest one that is usable? And if we've got 4 in a row that are stretching however far they go that are not usable, the fire department needs to tell us, we need to get this one addressed, because we have no coverage in those areas.
I believe they're 600 feet apart, but I'm not absolutely sure of that.
Bernier and Carr should have a listing of that as part of the punch list.
Oh, yes.
of what they need.
Right, so I guess it's a combination of that plus knowledge of what, you know, if there's a fire at a certain location, what's the next closest hydrant that's gonna work? And we certainly need to button up as soon as possible areas that have no water access right now.
Okay. Good question.
So I will get on that with those guys tomorrow.
Okay.
I do think, in the interim though, unaccessible, unusable hydrants should be black bags, so it's obvious from the road.
Mhm.
So, you know, if a company, if there is a fire, you don't want a crew wasting time going to a hydrant that's not usable. I think it should be very easily marked that those are not usable right now, so we need
Okay.
somebody on that.
I think that's what he really wanted. He wanted them plainly marked so that the fire department would try to use them.
Okay.
Okay. We have a letter from the real property office. Brian, you might be able to explain this better than I can, but recent legislation by the governor has expanded the RPTL exemption for solar and wind energy. Okay? Is this part of the thing that we need a public hearing for? Local law?
I believe so. There's a paragraph that says, even though we didn't opt out, your local law does not apply to these new systems. A separate local law or resolution is required to opt out.
Okay. So we need,
But we can check with Tom or Name, because John had already arranged for Tom.
Tom was supposed to have us a letter for this meeting.
okay,
Well,
actually, no action to be taken then tonight. huh?
Well, in case we need, but we may need to settle.
I would like to schedule a public hearing in the event that we get the proper letters to present at a public hearing.
Okay, I believe our meeting is the 14th, or 12th of December. I'd like to schedule a public hearing for that. 7:15, okay? Oh, you made the motion.
Yes.
I'll second that.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Clinton County Historical Association sent us a letter about their upcoming meeting, which has already been held. It was held on November 8th. We were invited to it, so that's strictly for your information. We should have had that last month. They didn't send it out early enough, apparently. We have a letter from the Department of Army, U.S. Corps of Engineers, pertaining to a cease and desist order that a resident in our town has to clean up, I would say would be the word, a waterway that he has filled in. That's strictly for information. Any comments?
Alan told me today that he'd been contacted by the Army Corps of Engineers to see if anything had been done. and
Yes.
Nothing has been done up to this point.
Okay.
I'd just like to make it clear at this meeting, this violation from the county, from the Army Corps of Engineers has nothing to do with the town of Champlain.
That is correct.
It's a private individual matter.
Yes.
Okay.
But
Good point.
we were copied on it because it's within the town. It's a violation within the town, not a town violation,
Right.
okay?
In the event of another flooding like we had last year, allegedly caused by beavers, Alan still would have to respond to that.
Well, we do the best we could, but
Right.
we can't control what somebody else already did. They are ordered to correct what they did, undo what they did.
Right. But Alan may still get direct.
Okay.
That's a public service thing at that point,
Uh,
I think, that he'd have to.
The Association of Towns sent us a letter providing bus transportation if anybody's going to New York City for the annual Association of Town meeting in New York City in February. We have not budgeted for that. So Jane, could you possibly just give them a buzz and tell them that
Sure will.
nobody's going to be going? Okay. We got through most everything within a couple minutes of 7:15, and that I'm grateful for. Okay. We got,
You got one more in here from the sampling of the, did you go through that one? Or I
which
missed
is,
Last page.
the last page beyond that?
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, just so you have time to go through that too.
Yes. Did you read it, Steve?
Yeah,
You-
yeah, it still infuriates me.
Well, we have a closed landfill that we must continually test. We've been doing this for 20 years, Jane?
At least 20.
At least 20. The next scheduled annual sampling event for the town of Champlain landfill must include additional to the current site spec list of chemicals. Okay? Now, we've always had somebody do that. We talked about doing our own sampling, if I'm correct, to save money. They still have to be evaluated by a lab to see if there's any contamination, okay, or less contamination. There were several wells up there, most of them now are dry, I understand.
I think originally there were like 12 or 13, and then they got eliminated down to 10. Now I think they're either 3, possibly 3.
3 or 4, there's not many
Yeah,
left.
there's not many.
Most of them are dry,
Yeah.
they do test them. And I've seen a year where it costs us, what, 10, 12,000 or more?
Yes,
Or at
that's,
least, yeah.
Okay,
that's the infuriating part.
it is, but how
But
do we?
if we got some guys qualified, we could pull the samples ourselves. That would save probably half of the cost.
You gotta, somebody has to be licensed to.
And we talked about it last year, but we never did any action on it. This year, the town should go forward and get one of Alan's people qualified to do that. It's not a big deal.
Good.
But the only thing is they're gonna have to go to the schools, and should get actually 2 guys qualified in case somebody happens to be out. But
Need backup,
it might cost us a few bucks in the beginning, but over the next 20 years, it certainly would pay off.
Thank you for reminding me, I didn't see that underneath there, Steve. Watching the clock.
Julie, do you have the one for the standard workday for the dog control officer?
Yes.
Oh, is that your report? Or- Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Julie.
Want to do that now?
Yeah, we got time, we got a couple minutes.
The board needs to pass a resolution for standard workday for dog control officer for standard workday of 6 hours.
This
Okay.
is for reporting for the retirement.
Oh, okay.
You have to establish a standard workday, and then she has to submit an activity report, typical month activity, and then report her to the retirement.
Speaking of that, there was on the table this evening, I believe there was a dog control officer's report, yes, there was. Okay.
Does that include the other municipalities that she?
Just the activity that she does here.
Okay, but
But
Mars
how can there-
already
How
does
can that equate to 6 hours a day for the town of Champlain?
Well, she has to submit a typical month of activity, an hour here, half an hour there. She can't get more than a full employee service, because Moore's reports her, I think, like 2.3 hours or days per month,
yes.
okay? It
So
depends
she's gonna
on
be
her
able-
activity.
I'm sorry, she's gonna be able to justify that she spends 6 hours a day working for the town of
No.
Champlain as a dog control
No,
officer?
no, you have to do prorate it for the actual time that she works. A 6-hour standard workday is equivalent to what, it's either 6 or 8. But if she only works like 4 hours a month, then there's a formula by which you calculate out how many days of service is reported to the retirement. It could be 2.5 per month, based on her activity.
For instance, if she worked,
Say 10 hours a month,
10 hours a month or,
yeah.
You
So
divide that by-
there's a formula by which
she
you
worked,
calculate.
we'll say 18 hours a month, for instance. She would get 3 days credit, 6 hours each day, is
Yeah.
that correct?
Yeah,
You get me, Steve?
So you're saying this 6 hours is the minimum guideline that we
Yes.
have to
yes.
approve?
6
you
or
have to.
8, yeah,
I was approved for 6 hours.
yeah.
It makes no difference in my case any longer because I'm no longer in the retirement system.
Right.
But you can give full credit for a day's work, depending on your job classification, either 6, 7, or 8-hour days, okay?
So, but on that subject, I thought we were looking at trying to consolidate further
We
with
are.
dog control officer.
But this is for her past service. I
Okay.
haven't
I-
reported any services. She's
I
been-
called on that yesterday. I have a county supervisor meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I hope to get an update. I called for an update. I told them what I wanted. That's a shared service between 4 towns possibly, okay?
Okay.
Shazy, Champlain, Moores, and Town of Plattsburgh. Hopefully it works through the sheriff's department.
So, one more.
Yes,
Should we consider tabling this until you go to that meeting and figure out what's gonna happen, or that doesn't matter?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Should we consider tabling this until after Larry goes to the supervisors meeting to see if this consolidation is going to,
Well, that will
Materialize.
determine the future activity of her. This is for the past years that she's worked for us.
okay, sorry you said that.
Okay?
okay, I would like a motion. Do we have a motion and a second on that?
No.
I need a motion to approve a 6-hour workday.
I understand it now, so I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Don't all speak at once.
I'll second.
Well, let's ask this question. Is there any discussion why we should not approve
I
it?
don't really understand the 6 hours, what that means. We talked about, I still, just kind of dense. Maybe that's not the reluctance.
It's the state of New York,
Oh,
right?
that explains it then.
It doesn't mean that we report her as working 6 hours a day. This is a standard workday by which you fellows are going to establish, okay? So she submits to the town a activity report of the number of hours she spends on her job. So you take those number of hours and you throw it into this kind of calculation that they make up from the retirement system to determine how many days of service we report monthly under her name. So it could be like like Linda Fredette. I reported, I think it's 1.76, I don't know, days per month that we charged or credited her for her retirement system based on her activity. So she doesn't get 6 hours a month. It's prorated based on her activity that she puts in. But until we have an activity report, we don't know. We do it for the judges.
Well, the judges,
The judges are considered
when they're newly
full-time.
elected, they have to keep a 3-month record, am I correct?
3-month activity
To give us
report.
their average
It's like a
hours.
time study.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if we don't do it, she could be penalized, or we could be penalized for not reporting. That's why the retirement system is on me.
For instance, if she works for 4 townships, she cannot get more credit than 1 year's service in any one given
Yeah.
year. Just because she worked, we'll say, half-time here, half-time here, and a half-time on a 3rd job or something, you still can only get 1 year's credit.
Yeah. Can't get
Salary would be
full-time.
higher.
Yeah.
The combined salary,
Mhm.
but her service credits would be never more than 1 year.
Never more than 1 year. Yeah.
I had that experience when I worked for the county, when I had
Yeah.
the town job here, but even though I worked more than, I could only get credit for 1 year, but it did up my average dollar-wise. Okay, now do I have a second?
Clark seconded.
Clark seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
You don't know, nobody opposed it.
Okay, I need a motion to go out, close the public meeting and open a public hearing on the local law for the tax cap. Okay.
I'll make that motion, to close the regular meeting and open the budget session.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried? Okay. As you probably know, there's a tax cap in New York State for all schools, villages, towns, cities. Everything except the state of New York doesn't have one. In New York City, I don't believe that.
City,
Yeah, in the city doesn't have one.
Winchester
But,
County.
We make up for that.
We can and we have in the past. It is very, very hard to meet that local law requirement to keep the tax cap under the percentage, okay? We are not gonna do it this year. We're not gonna meet the tax cap because of additional things in the budget. Although our budget is up only roughly 4 cents per thousand, okay? Jane, you may wanna just speak on the issue of the water, am I correct?
Well, part of the calculation of figuring out the tax cap is debt that you have. And now that we have this payment for the loan for the water project, it's $115,000, our share of it, plus, well, the part of that we have to pay for the bond for the water on Route 11, which is around $17,000, so it comes up to around $122,000, plus the sewer still has a debt to it, which is around $16,000. So the combination of all that pushes over the 3% tax cap.
Okay. Although those budget items, it's in and out, so to speak. The money comes into us, goes out to pay the payment.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But obviously, we need to pass the tax cap. Okay. Any other questions from the board members? Okay.
So we need a motion
To exceed the tax cap, and we can only exceed that with the 2/3 majority, or 60%, I should say. Which would be 3 out of 5. Okay. Any questions?
no, I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Thank you. No other questions? I'll ask for a roll call vote on this. John?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
Stephen?
Aye.
Aye for myself. I thank you. I'd like a motion to close the public hearing for the tax cap and go back to regular session.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. To Eric.
You gonna do the budget?
Well, I can't do it before 7:30, should I?
Oh, it's 7:30? I didn't know.
That's
which
why
one
I
it was.
thought, I spoke to Eric on the way in, that he could work in
No
between.
problem.
I think we were 5 minutes late or something on the budget, nobody's gonna say anything. Okay?
So we have just a brief presentation. My name is Kelsey Fiore, and I have a copy of it here.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Jay. There it is.
In the middle?
Right here. You won't get in trouble.
This or what?
So as I said, my name is Kelsey Fiore, and this is my colleague Eric Misbach, and we are representatives from Nexamp. We're the solar company that's responsible for the project being built in Moores, and it's going to serve the entire, all of Clinton County. And so we wanted to tell you a bit about our community solar program that can serve Champlain residents. It's a great way to support locally sourced renewable energy. It's also, a good way to save a little bit of money on your electric bill every month. And so we wanted to just bring a little awareness about this program to the town and make sure that the towns around Morse, where the project is being built, are the first to know about it. So Eric's going to delve into our program a little bit. I just wanted to start by telling you a bit about us. Nexamp is a decade-old, we're a community solar company. We were founded by 2 veterans, and we have been ranked among the top 3 commercial scale solar developers in the nation. And that's really a reflection of the work that we've done in the Northeast. That's where we focused all of our efforts. So we're excited to, I'm going to hand it over to Eric. We're excited to tell you about our program.
Thank you, Kelsey. So again, my name is Eric Misbach. I'm the Community Solar Project Manager for Nexam. And we believe that there's probably been some interest in this area and probably some awareness about the solar projects that are being built throughout New York State. But we want to make sure people are aware of what community shared solar is in particular, and Nexam's role in that. So recent New York policy made it easier for local residences, small businesses, and municipalities to benefit from solar energy without having to put it on their own property. So you no longer have to put solar panels on your roof or in your backyard in order to get solar energy on your electric bill. Community solar, it works through a process called net metering. A company like us builds a local solar array, a site that's optimally suited for solar power, without trees or shading, and enough to power up to 1,000 homes. And through net metering, the value of that electricity can be taken from the solar farm and credited directly to your electric bill and applied as payment towards your NYSEG electric bill. Although community solar has now become a popular option in several states, as far as we know, the solar project that we're building in Morris is the only one to serve Clinton County at this time. And our program is uniquely flexible. We designed it to be available to all income levels. As long as you pay a NYSEG electric bill, it's something you can participate in. Homeowners, small businesses, renters, nonprofits, again, as long as you pay your own NYSEG electric bill, you can participate. We're offering a 10% discount on the credits that are applied to your electric bill. That 10% discount is off of nearly everything you pay to NYSEG. The delivery fees per kilowatt hour and the supply charge that you pay to either NYSEG or to a third-party supplier or ESCO. The only thing we can't cover is the $15.11 that you pay as a monthly basic service fee. But otherwise, the rest is covered by your credits from our solar farm. And that 10% discount is guaranteed for up to 20 years. That's the lifetime of the project. That's our commitment to you as the subscriber. We don't require the same commitment from subscribers, though. You can opt into the program and then opt back out at any time. We simply request 90 days notice because it takes about 90 days to get you off of the list of who NYSEG is crediting for the solar project. So it's truly a pay-as-you-go subscription, very, very flexible. You can change how much solar you're getting, and you can cancel with no cancellation penalty whatsoever. We're able to offer this flexibility in our program because we're a fully integrated solar company. We're responsible for building and operating the solar project and responsible for subscribing participants. We don't outsource this to some sales agency. And that's why Kelsey and I are here today, to make sure that you're hearing directly from us, the solar company, that this option is available to Champlain residents. We try to make it as easy as possible to sign up. Again, this is an opt-in program. You're not automatically enrolled. It is serving your community, but you need to come to us and say that you want to participate in it. So our website is solarizemybill.com. You truly are solarizing your bill, so we hope that's easy to remember, solarizemybill.com. You enter your information and upload a copy of your NYSEG electric bill. That allows us to verify your eligibility and determine what share of the solar farm would be allocated to you to meet your needs. If you can't upload it to the website, you can fax it to us or email, or just call our team, 800-945-5124, and you'd end up talking to myself or to Kelsey or another member of our team. Once we determine what share of the solar farm would meet the needs on your electric bill, we send you an agreement. You sign that agreement that reserves your spot in the solar farm and secures your 10% discount. A lot of people ask us, what does this actually mean on my electric bill? Well, you continue to receive your NYSEG electric bill. And it looks the same as it always has. Except down at the bottom, you'll see a CDG generation credit. That is Community Distributed Generation, the formal term that New York State gives to community solar projects. And those credits are taking everything that you would have paid per kilowatt hour, adding it all up, and taking that off of your electric bill as a negative dollar value. So this electric bill that's usually $118, take $101 off of it from your credits from the solar farm, you're left paying only the $15.15 service fee plus sales tax. And the rest is taken off your NYSEG bill, and instead you pay us at 10% less. You'd pay Nexamp 90 cents for every dollar that you would have otherwise paid to NYSEG. It's a pure savings program. It's truly a win-win. New York policy says, we want more solar on the grid, and to make it worth people's while, you get a discount on your electricity costs. And solar companies like us are incentivized to build more and more of these and put more local energy, local clean energy on the utility grid. We also have an online portal for customers where you can see how much electricity you're getting from the solar farm, the environmental impact of that, and you can pay your bill to us online too. We try to make it as easy as possible, just so that this is not a hassle, but rather just a savings opportunity. And with that, we just want to open it up to questions and a discussion with the board about how best to spread awareness of this. We are a small team, and we want to make sure that as many people are aware that this is happening. Again, it's up to every resident if they think it's right for them. But if they don't know that it's happening, then they're not going to come to us. So we really like your advice on how to make sure that Champlain residents are aware that this exists.
Would we be writing two checks to pay our bill, then one to NYSEG and one to you?
Yes, so your NYSEG bill is going to be practically zero every month, that $15 plus tax. And then you get your Nexamp invoice, where you pay 90 cents for every dollar that would have otherwise gotten NYSEG.
So you're guaranteed a 10% savings off of your current kilowatt hour usage with NYSEG every month. So you're guaranteed savings, but it can, if we try to be careful to explain this beforehand, because it can throw people for a loop if they're like, I'm getting my NYSEG bill and then I'm also getting an invoice from Nexamp. That does happen every month, but your NYSEG bill is usually only going to be, because we try to allocate enough kilowatt hours to match your kilowatt hour usage based on your historical usage. So it should just be that service fee and that small tax that we can't cover every month. And then you receive the invoice, which is 90 cents to the dollar for your usage.
And this is a partnership with NYSEG. As one of the major utilities in the state, they're required to be a part of this community solar program. So they work directly with us to make sure you get these credits on your bill. And they'll be prepared to receive payment from you that is a lot less. They're getting the electricity from us, but crediting you for your share of that electricity.
So where are you with the design and implementation and construction phase of this project in Champlain?
So we should be breaking ground any day now.
This is not hearsay.
In Moores, it's in Moores, yeah. So we should be.
You're going to generate enough to be able to offer this to Champlain residents as well?
It's a 6 megawatt solar farm, depending on how much electricity each person pulls from it, so it depends on who signs up. It could offset the electricity costs from 800 to 1,000 people.
But it obviously depends on how big the households are that are signing up.
Okay.
And we expect to go live in April, sometime in the spring. And we really want to make sure that we're fully enrolled at that point so that everyone is benefiting. Everyone's enrolled, everyone starts benefiting the minute the project goes live. So even if you signed up with us now, you're not actually receiving those credits on your bill until we start generating electricity. So, but we do hope to have everyone enrolled ahead of time. and it's on a rolling basis.
So small businesses are eligible? What's a small business?
The designation is whether or not you have a demand charge on your electric bill. Demand charge is a per kilowatt rather than a per kilowatt hour charge, and large businesses pay that demand charge. It's essentially what NYSEG is charging you for taking a lot of electricity off the grid at any given point in time. We are unable to offset demand charges through community solar. So we're looking to subscribe as many small businesses and residents as possible. I think actually Jane and I looked at the electric bills paid by the town itself, and most of the buildings here that are owned by the municipality are paying demand charges. But smaller buildings, every resident pays a standard residential rate, and that does not include demand charges. And if you own a small shop, a small business, then you also likely don't pay demand charges. And can't
So like
purchase
pump stations, that kind of thing might qualify?
It might.
Did you look at those bills as well?
Yeah, we looked at most of the bills.
Yeah.
There wasn't much help.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay.
I think, sometimes NYSEG just says, we'll create a certain rule and say, town buildings count as demand charge commercial buildings. But they'll look to a small retail shop or an office space, or an attorney's office, and say, that's very similar to residential, no demand charges on that bill.
So just for my own business sense here, your model is based on supplying this back into the grid, and then you get a credit from NYSEG for that, and then that's your revenue source?
Yes.
Okay.
So you hope the sun shines.
The sun has to shine, of course, for any of this to work, and we expect the sun to keep shining.
Not so much in the community.
Yeah.
What would happen if you met your goal of roughly 800 households? What happens then?
Then we start building a wait list. So it does take some time to fill that many spots. And we just do it on a rolling first come, first served basis. So we presented to the Moores Town Hall last night. Moores, was essentially the first place we went to because the project's in their town. But we are trying to inform all towns in Clinton County so that everyone has this opportunity. And as soon as we fill up, then the wait list begins. And that wait list is important to us because someone might move or need to decrease how much they're getting from us because they've done energy efficiency upgrades and used less electricity. And since we're changing the list every 3 months, it's that 90-day interval that you can change your subscription. We expect that every 3 months we might have the opportunity to change the list and get someone off the wait list.
But to give you a sense of kind of the popularity of the program and also a sense of urgency to sign up, we have, I think, 1% of our participants opt out. So it's really, usually when people enroll, they stay on because, again, it's pure cost savings, there's no sign-up cost, there's no cancellation fee. And it's usually if people install solar on their rooftop or if they move, as Eric said. It's a very low rate of people who decide to leave the program. But yeah, once it's filled, we do start a waiting list, and if someone does decide to opt out, then we can add the next person.
Where would your nearest project be to us? Yeah, well, within 50, 100 miles of us, or?
The only one in Clinton County is the one we're building in Morris.
Yeah, but do you have any in Vermont or close by?
Oh, of ones that have already been built and up are running, we have 22 of them in Massachusetts.
Okay.
We're building.
How many of those, if you know, full and require a wait list?
All of them. We've
How long-
actually.
And those, you've been in existence for 10 years?
Yeah, so for the first several years of our existence, community solar didn't exist. And we're putting solar on folks' rooftops and doing commercial installations on the roofs of warehouses. And then when legislation in Massachusetts allowed us to do community shared solar, that became our focus. So for the past 2.5 years, we've been building and running these community shared solar farms in Massachusetts.
So those 22 went up within the last 2.5 years and they're all full.
Yes.
If this one is full and there's a need for it, is there a possibility of expanding and doing another solar farm in this county?
Yes. Yep. So we're, yeah, this is the one in Clinton County so far. We're developing 4 others in the lower Hudson Valley, and one in the southern tier. But
So it doesn't really matter where you physically put the site, you're feeding the NICEAG grid, and then the subscribers are just pulling that savings back out of it regardless of where they are.
you've got to be in the same service territory, so NICEAG and the load zone. This is load zone D. I call it the north load zone, give it a letter D. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's not surprising that, just one last thing, it's not surprising that these projects fill up so quickly because only about 20% of the homeowners can actually support solar on their rooftop. So this is really a great alternative for
For
people.
the other 80%.
So
This
the
is
other,
for the other
yeah, this is for the other 80%,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I would doubt very much we have 20% solar rooftops now, do we? I mean, we got a few,
Well, there's
more every year, but.
Yeah,
There's
well, it's
also,
20% who can support it, but, you know.
Yeah, not everyone
Credits
does,
have
yeah.
increased too, haven't they? Residential solar credits in the state of New York have dipped to a certain degree, right?
yeah, the incentives keep on changing, and the state has tried to steer more towards this community shared solar option because they know that it allows more people to have access to the benefit of solar power. Not everyone, you know, has the roof for it. Like I said, only 20% do. And of those, some don't want to do the upfront cost or have the maintenance or the risk of having something on their roof. So this just allows you to participate without taking any risk. And so again, if there are any suggestions for how to get the word out, I believe there's already been an announcement online, but if we can reach residents in any other capacity, we would love your suggestions.
This fellow right here is put on a community access channel for you. It's Calvin.
Yeah, let me ask a question. Obviously, you're gonna make more electricity in the summer, so is that 10%, does that fluctuate? Does it go down in the winter because you're making half the electricity? It's based on how much you're able to produce there in that Moore's site, obviously.
The 10% discount is fixed. So it'll always be 10% off of what the NICEAG rate would have been.
Mm-hmm.
But the amount of credits you get from us will depend on the season. Of course, we're generating more solar electricity in the summer. So you're building up more credits in the summer, and whatever you earn during the summer may exceed how much you actually need, and NICEAG holds on to those credits for you and will give them to you in the winter when we're not generating as many credits, but you're going to still need it to pay off your winter electric bills. So
They're essentially rolling over.
yeah. NICEAG designed this program pretty well in partnership with the State Energy Authority, NYSERDA, to make it truly work all year round.
So 10% doesn't fluctuate, doesn't go up, doesn't go down, it's 10%?
It's 10%. That's our model. There are other options out there elsewhere in the state where they say it's going to be a certain per kilowatt hour fee, and that may or may not be a good deal if NICEAG's rates go up or down. We decided on a % discount, so that no matter what NICEAG's rate does, it'll always be 10% off of that. So it's always 10% savings.
So they don't charge more for Joe that has this per kilowatt than Bob who doesn't have it, right?
No.
Yeah, so their rates don't change for the individual.
Right. It's very different from the ESCOs that are selling electricity supply, where they might give you a better rate if you use more electricity, and they give you like a bulk discount. Ours is credits to offset your electric bill, regardless of who your supplier is, and regardless of how much electricity you use, always 10% off.
So what happens if we don't reach that enough to offset the, we have a real cloudy year?
In that case, then you know, we showed you a copy of the electric bill here. We are careful to size it so that it'll always match all or nearly all of your kilowatt hour usage. But in the case that it's a really cloudy year and we can't do that, and everyone's already pulling off their percentage of the solar farm, then instead of this being $101 worth of credits, maybe it's just $98 worth of credits. And we didn't quite cover everything. That's a great question, because we can't guarantee that we're gonna cover every single kilowatt hour on your electric bill. But that is our aim, and that is why we have the 90-day flexibility, so that we can make adjustments as necessary if it's not covering all of your electric bill.
Well, obviously, the people you're getting in, you're gonna look at their bill and see how much they need and cut it off not based on the number of people, but the number of amount of electricity that they use.
Exactly. That's why we give a range. 800 to 1,000 people, maybe less, maybe more. If everyone uses a lot less electricity, then we can sign up more people, because the solar will be enough to cover more people.
And
Yeah.
we're able to, when we receive your utility bill from your electric bill from this past month, we're able to then, through NICEAG, look at your historical usage over the past year. And so we can pretty accurately match kilowatt hour to kilowatt hour our allocation from the solar array to what you actually use every month. So for the most part, it's a pretty accurate allocation, and we can generally cover most, if not all, of your bill, again, other than the service fee and the tax.
Do you have any business cards you could leave with us?
Yes, we do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other
Thank you.
questions?
Just one more question, there's no upfront service fees or costs
No,
with this?
no.
And I will be hearing this presentation again tomorrow morning at the county supervisors meeting, I've been told.
Lucky you.
Lucky you guys going to see that group.
Thank you for your time.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Okay.
No, I do. We can hand out our business cards at the end.
Okay, I would like a motion to go out of public session again, for public hearing pertaining to the budget.
I would like to make a motion to go out of public session and go to the public hearing on budget.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. We're on the budget. James worked hard on the budget for a couple months, scared us for a while. I think we came up with a pretty good budget. I believe, Julie, do you have the ad paper you need to read the salaries off? You have that? Okay.
Town of Champlain notice of public hearing upon preliminary budget for the year 2018. Notice is hereby given that the preliminary budget for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2018 has been completed and filed in the office of the town clerk at Champlain, New York, where it is available for inspection by any interested person at all reasonable hours. Further notice is hereby given that the town board of the town of Champlain will meet and review said preliminary budget and hold public hearing thereon at the town office in Champlain, New York on Tuesday, November 14, 2017 at 7:30 p.m. And at that such hearing, any person may be heard in favor or against any item or items therein contained. Pursuant to section 113 of town law, the proposed salaries of the following town elected officials are hereby specified as follows. Supervisor, $19,000. Council members, 4 at $6,150. Town clerk tax collector, $27,841. Highway superintendent, elected, $19,503. Working superintendent, $36,693. Notice is also given that the regular town board meeting will be held immediately following the budget hearing by order of the town board.
Thank you, Joey. Just for information only, we'll go to questions. We have approximately a 4-cent increase. Last year, the town tax was $2.23, I believe, Jane.
Last year, 223.
223. This year it'll be 227, a 4-cent increase. Not 4%, but 4 cents, okay? We'd like, just for information only, the salary increases are 2% for not the elected officials. The town board does not get an increase, has not in several years. But most everybody in the building, the judges, secretaries, Julie, Jane, Mike, it's all 2% increases. We tried to hold it at that. Okay. Just in case that question was asked. Does anybody in the audience have any questions pertaining to the budget? Oh, everybody's quiet.
Don't jinx it.
Pardon?
Don't jinx it.
Don't change it. I think we have a real good budget. We worked hard. James really worked hard in bringing this together. We had some unexpected stuff this past year, we might say. It's all worked out. The tax cap has pretty well eliminated fund balances, I'll tell you that. There's no big fund balances anywhere anymore, including us. No questions. Any councilman? Questions?
I think it might be appropriate to mention that we're still in the process of contract negotiations with
With the union.
the union.
The union, we're ongoing negotiations with the union. The next mediation, it's a mediator coming in. Been here once, we'll be back on the 27th this month, okay? So that part has not been settled, okay? Any other questions?
As I always like to do, and I know we all do, is to thank Jane for her work on this. With the different aspects of a town budget like ours, with the 3 different pieces that have to all blend together.
Well, Jane kind of grew up with the budget, so.
Almost, yeah. 28 years of it.
25 years or more?
28.
28, yeah? It's complicated, to say the least.
Right.
Okay, there's many different aspects of the budget, okay? To keep a close tap on all of them, I don't know how many accounts there is.
Multiple.
Multiple. Okay. So, you know, we have run a pretty close ship here, a tight ship, I should say.
Yeah.
We don't spend it.
Been very fortunate. The sales tax has really helped us out this year as well as past years, but we've used every nickel of sales tax revenue to lower the tax rate. There's not one nickel that goes unaccounted for.
Well, that's, yes, I know that, and I agree with that, because I believe when I first got here, we did turn some of that money back to the county to
We've
reduce.
had it all different ways. We've turned it all back, we've saved some, we've kept some, and now we,
You can turn that back to the county to reduce the county tax.
yeah.
We chose not to do that several years ago. It's our money, so we're entitled to that money to run our township.
Yeah.
Okay? And we're not the whole county is very fortunate on sales tax money, okay? I believe it's $30-some million now, countywide.
But townwide, this year it's a little over $600,000 that we've received.
It's a huge help.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want to think what our budget would be without sales tax money.
Just for expense money.
Any other questions? If not, I'd like a motion to go back into public session, close the hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now, I'd like a motion to approve the budget.
I make a motion we approve the 2017-18 budget.
Thank you.
And I'll second the approval of the 2018 budget.
Thank you. Any questions from town councilman on the budget? If not, we'll have a roll call vote. John?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
Stephen?
Aye.
I am myself. I thank you. I need to, it's unusual to have 3 public hearings in one evening. Highly unusual. I do need another public hearing on cold water exemptions for the veterans. So I need a motion to come out of a public session into a public hearing.
I so move.
Thank you.
second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Brian, you're probably up on this more than I am. This is an extension of, am I correct?
Right, there was I believe there was a sunset provision for this Cold War veteran exemption. We don't
There's been
reenact it.
different veterans exemptions. Some were wartime only, some were service in a war area. You could have been in the service during the war, but not necessarily in the war itself, like in Vietnam or something. You could have been, but this one here covers all Cold War veterans, which goes basically from right after the Korean War all the way to 1991, I believe. When the Cold War was, when the Soviet Union broke up, that's when they said the Cold War ended, so to speak. So to my knowledge, it covers everybody in between there. Okay, you did not have to serve in actual wartime. It was what they call Cold War veterans exemption. As long as you were in the service during those times, from the 50s to the 90s.
Yeah, so we already have it.
Yes.
It's just to maintain it and renew it.
Any questions from the council then? I mean,
No.
I think all veterans deserve some consideration from any public entity they can find, to tell you the truth. They certainly, we wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for the veterans. If there's no questions, I would like motion to close the hearing and go back into public session.
Make a motion to close the hearing, go back to public session.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. Now we need to actually approve in public session the cold water exemption. Do I have a motion for that?
I make a motion, we approve the Cold War exemption, extension. I guess it's extension, right?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any questions, concerns? If not, roll call vote.
Aye.
Brian?
I'm gonna go your drawing.
There you get it. I don't know what it amounts to, but it's a few bucks, and then they deserve it. Clark?
Aye.
Stephen?
Aye.
And I for myself, thank you. I have nothing else on the agenda. Go ahead, Brian.
I'd like to set a public hearing for the local law for the solar wind farm exemption.
Well, we did that earlier, didn't we?
We did that. and-
7:15 for the next meeting.
Okay,
Yep.
so make sure we didn't miss it.
Yes, I understand, I appreciate that. Julie, what do you have for us?
The board needs to reappoint David Coonan on the Board of Review, Board of Assessment Review.
Okay.
His term is up, so the board needs to approve him for another, I think it's 4 years.
Okay,
I talked to Tim today, and David still wants to continue.
okay, I have no problem with that. I would entertain a motion to approve David Coonan on the Board of Assessment Review.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you,
I'll second it.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And I for myself, it passes.
That's all I have.
You got,
Because we already did the standard work day.
what?
We already did the
Yes.
standard work day.
We got this year, we'll do it.
All of that.
What?
I didn't know we had that.
Jane gave it to me like today. Then Jane worked overtime, get it ready for us.
Water District number 6 disbursement approval 40. Luck Brothers, 93,402.91. LH LaPlante Company, 9,737.50. Brenner and Carr, 17,932.46. 19,688.94. 34,122.78.
Okay? These are, payout number 7, I believe it is it?
Approval number 40.
Oh, we've done that many, haven't we? Okay, these bills have been presented to us, we need to pay them. I'd like a motion to pay the bills as presented to us.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it with
Regrets?
Regrets, yes, that's the word for
Now
it.
we're at this point though, why are there 3 separate line items for burning your car?
Yeah, I can't figure that out either.
If you look on page 2 of their invoice, you'll see it goes back to, I believe, September, October, and then November. The other 2, the September and October, were held back from EFC because they had not submitted, or not been submitting their that women minority
MWBE.
wasn't approved by EFC, and it has been, so Anthony told me today that those 3 should go for tonight.
Yes. Okay, thank you. For clarification on that.
It's close to $71,000, I think.
Okay, yeah. What do you think about it? I had a motion to second.
That's 3 months worth of their bills?
It's in his invoice, yeah.
It's, I checked, it is on the line items to be paid though. Okay, I need a roll call vote on this. John?
Aye, under protest, like Brian said.
Brian?
Alright,
Clark? Aye. Stephen? Aye for myself, thank you. You have your post audit bills, or you need to approve the bills of the evening, or the month this evening.
I just have one I have to read. Rainey's Repair, water softener, $589.18, service call, $195, and outside wiring, $453.43.
Yeah, that thing was, I'm trying to figure that out, that was all hooked up. And all I did was change the tank. They were supposed to get the tank for free, because it was under warranty, so I can't figure that out.
That is the warranty price. It was almost $1,500 originally.
What'd they change the wiring for?
The wiring is for the judge's doors
Oh,
and that outside drop box.
oh, okay.
No, it's just the softener's the very first one.
Thank you for that clarification.
$450.
Thank you. Okay. We need a motion to pay the bills. Do I have a motion that I don't believe I did yet?
you know, make a motion to pay the bills.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Include the bill from the.
Yes. Any questions on any of the monthly bills?
What does the battery backup do that Novotech dinged us for?
That was for the court. They lost their battery thing, the battery backup for the computers. It was flashing red, and we had Novotech come in and replace it.
Do we know anything about $2,750 for used road barrels?
Yeah, that's those big barrels, those big plastic barrels, we bought 100 of them there.
Because Casale took all of
They
their.
took all them, we'd have some put out there.
So we didn't have any barrels to mark, like the Hayford Road shoulder, the West Service Road drop off, or
It's something that Alan found. They were used now.
Right.
They were used and we got them stored up in the water tower at Stop and Prospect.
And that's something that Alan thought he could use in the future for the road safety work.
And we didn't have any, so we had to have some. And the guy gave us a deal and he says, you gotta take them all, or you can't. I'm not gonna sell you 25, you gotta take them all, so we had to take them all. We priced them out as a full value, and that's a real deal right there.
Would this be something we can share with the village?
They want to pay
Shared
them.
services.
They want to pay for them.
This is part of shared services.
We buy
He's
them.
not paying attention to
Any other bills?
What's brake assembly board guard, $2,200, $2,300?
That was the back of the loader, the caliper seized back there, caused the fire in the building, we almost burned the whole building out there.
It happened.
Is this one of those loaders that's from 1980 something that they're still hanging
No, I
out?
think that was the brand new one.
Really?
Well, the brand new one isn't brand new anymore.
Yeah.
They had a stone or something got caught in behind the brake pad and got into everything.
They had a fire inside the salt shed.
Yeah, almost had it.
Nice.
Yeah, right up the top of the pile too, close to the dome there. It was bad there.
Not good. Okay. I have a
Well,
motion.
ask that question.
Jake, would you leave
Matt,
the-
have you heard anything from our bonding attorney about any reimbursement for any of the town's activity?
Nothing. Should I have?
I don't know, I'm just wondering if,
No, I haven't heard one.
nothing.
Motion in a second.
Okay, I have a motion to second pay the bills. Any other questions? If not, I need a vote on this. All in favor, paying the monthly bills? Opposed, carried, thank you. I have nothing else. We do need an executive session.
Oh, sorry.
Um, Could you tell me who says you're like?
It's always the same, Larry, ugly. You saw my father's, you get an idea.
Yeah, but he had an excuse. He's a
Yeah.
doctor. He can write any way he wants.
That's true.
Okay, I need a motion to go into the executive session. Yes,
Before you do,
yes.
just be very quick, I mentioned it to you earlier today. The new bike path, when you're heading toward Rouse's Point by the golf course, local people are gonna know that's a bike path. I think out-of-towners is gonna think that's a third lane there. And I think it's just a matter of time before somebody gets run over. Is there something we can do to make that more obvious, that it's not 3 lanes for the people that are
I
visiting?
understand your concern. I will be speaking to Harry. That's a county project, a town concern.
It's a town road.
Okay.
Well, there is a rumble strip on there now too, did you notice that?
Yeah, I noticed the rumble strip, but that isn't gonna get somebody who's
What are we
confused.
gonna do with that? After
You don't-
they
you
expand
don't
it,
notice
put a
that when you run
rumble
over
strip
that,
in, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, but I don't know, so if I'm out of town, I don't know what side I'm supposed to be on.
There's a white line.
Yeah, but when the snow blows and, I just think it's dangerous. 3 lanes and
What's
it's,
your suggestion?
I don't have a suggestion. It's built, but
But that's
like I
all
said,
the
I need a
DOT
time
out there.
machine, but right now I think it's dangerous. And if you guys don't think it's dangerous,
A
that's,
lot safer than it used to be.
Remember that?
A lot safer.
well, I think,
It's a county project, they haven't turned that over to us yet either.
people heading toward Rouse's Point from out of town aren't gonna know. And I think it's very dangerous for anybody in that bike path.
I agree, but I don't think they built the bike path right to begin with, so, but we went by their design. The county designed it, and that's the way they built it.
I will be speaking to our county rep on that issue. And there's other issues on that bike path also. I believe some of them have been taken into account as far as barriers and stuff. But people, make it harder for people to get onto the trail with 4-wheelers and stuff.
Yeah, they put 4 poles up like this, you can drive right around them like this. That didn't make a heck of a lot of sense, really.
You gotta show in good faith that you did something to keep the 4-wheelers off.
Well, that was the
I don't
county
know
that
what
put it up.
the problem is, but that's gonna be a law enforcement issue, I'm sure. Okay.
The other thing I've got, is there somebody from DOT that I can contact? I'm still concerned if we've gone through 2 winters without any problems, but when they put in the roundabouts, they've put guardrails on 6 of those little areas. There's one that goes by UPS, the old,
Yes.
it's very small drop off there, it wouldn't be a problem. But the one that goes by Valero, it's quite a drop off there and there's no guardrail. And I think it's DOT dropped the ball on that, and I don't know why.
I don't know why they left it that way.
It's dangerous, that's a dangerous spot. You head out west toward toward Moores, and if you come around there too fast, there's nothing that's gonna keep you on the road, and it's a good 15 feet or more down. So is there a number from DOT that I can contact unless the board wants to contact them?
I will try.
Just find out why, if there's a reason why, fine, but I can't see any reason not to put guardrails in that one spot when you got them on 6 other spots.
As you probably know, we had a public hearing before they built those roundabouts, and we weren't too much in favor of them. They as much as told us it was their call,
Yeah.
their design, okay? And pretty well tell us what
Right.
they're gonna do now.
Right, but I think somebody
Tell
ought
us what they're gonna do or not gonna do.
I think somebody at DOT ought to be be aware and be on the spot, so that, if somebody goes off in there, we can say, here's the person at DOT who said this was safe. You tell Martin Harding and Mazzotti to call them.
If you look
Don't
at the
disagree with me.
guardrail going
Do not
east
disagree.
from McDonald's, if you look at the guardrail going east from McDonald's, where you go south on 87, somebody did a really good job on that guardrail. They hit it and it's in pieces. So it's a good thing it was there. I just noticed that 2 days ago.
Yeah, and it can happen going west, right in that spot. So,
Yeah.
A lot of
people are not used to roundabouts, you gotta really slow down. I believe, is there a sign that said 15 miles an hour, I thought. Somebody told me that, I don't know. You gotta go slow, but it does move traffic faster, I'll give them that credit.
Well,
Okay. Anything else? Back in. I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss a contract issue.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
Executive session.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.